Good morning and welcome to Korea Today, live from Seoul.
The international media is zeroing in on the possible removal of Jang Song-taek, North Korea's #2 man, from power and the impact it may have on Pyongyang's leadership. We'll talk to an expert to gain insight.
Finally, a concrete agreement was drawn up by the two main rival parties here in South Korea. More coming up in the headlines.
And also coming up on In Print, we'll show you how the newspapers are covering the suspected leadership change out of North Korea. A story of young love brought back to the stage by popular demand. I'll be back with a closer look at one of Korea's most beloved operas.
On our second medical tour to Jeju Island, we visit the beautiful winter ocean and lush forests where medical tourists can experience the up-and-coming hub of medical tourism. And it's a neighborhood rich in culture and history. Visit the hills of Seoul's Seongbuk-dong, filled with pockets of tradition where historical elements laminate modernity, on Korea Today on Wednesday, December 4th, 2013.
From Arirang News, this is Korea Today.
And thank you for joining us on Korea Today on this Wednesday morning.
And it seems that we do have a lot of smart students here in Korea. South Korea ranked among the top 4 in the OECD's Program for International Student Assessment, also known as PISA, and that surveyed over 500,000 15-year-olds from 65 different countries. Now, if you are wondering who the other top 3 among the top 4 were, it's Shanghai, Singapore, and Hong Kong.
That's right. And Korean students did especially well in math. They ranked first, in fact, but they ranked below OECD average when it comes to the emotional quotient in math, meaning they have low motivation and low interest, as well as low confidence in problem solving in math. So we have a bit of a problem here. And as some point out, there needs to be some creative ways to get students to have them enjoy math and be confident in math.
So you get the overall best score in math, but then in other areas of math, I mean, we're talking about the motivational aspect,
That's right.
and it scores rather low.
All right, we'll turn to Na Young-kyung for a check of the stories we're following at this hour.
Jang Song-taek, the uncle of North Korea's young leader, is very likely to have been dismissed from Pyongyang's political scene. This according to South Korean lawmakers who were briefed by Seoul's intelligence agents. They say two close confidants of Jang in North Korea's ruling Workers' Party have been publicly executed in late November for anti-party activities.
It's highly likely Jang Song-taek has been stripped from all his posts, and we believe the role of the ruling Workers' Party's administrative department is likely to have lost its power or has even been dissolved.
Lawmakers say the whereabouts of Jang and his wife, Yim Yoonhee, the aunt of leader Kim Jong-un, are currently unknown. And analysts citing party newspaper 노동신문 say the young leader seems to have ratcheted up propaganda, urging people to build, quote, a monolithic leadership of Kim Jong-un and follow him to the end of the world. The two main rival parties have finally bridged their differences after holding 2 sets of meetings in one day. The second one starting past 8 p.m. on Tuesday. The two sides were able to agree on a number of issues.
The Special NIS Reform Committee will have an equal number of members from each party and will be headed by the Democratic Party. The Special Committee will have the authority to pass related bills.
And with this agreement, the main opposition Democratic Party has agreed to end its boycott and normalize parliamentary activities. The two sides have also agreed to submit next year's budget bill to the Special Budget Review Committee as early as today and aim to pass it by the end of the year. The one area, though, where they still couldn't reach a conclusion was whether to launch an independent investigation into the spy agency's alleged election meddling. They were only able to agree to continue talks on the matter. The United States is deeply concerned about China's attempt to change the status quo in the East China Sea. This was the message U.S. Vice President Joe Biden relayed to Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe during their one-on-one in Tokyo on Tuesday. Abe said Tokyo and Washington agreed to not tolerate China's attempt to change the status quo by force, some analysts say, however, the U.S. acted carefully in Tokyo in the sense that although it appeared to be in line with its allies in refusing to recognize China's air defense zone, it was also mindful of avoiding a crack in its relationship with Beijing. Biden's trip comes amid escalating tensions in Northeast Asia after China announced its air defense zone, which overlaps with some areas controlled by Korea and Japan. The Korean government is striving to revive the sluggish property market. The finance ministry has rolled out yet another set of housing policies as follow-up measures to those introduced back in April and August. The revised measures will simplify and unify three types of government-funded mortgages into one so that more people will be able to take out loans at lower interest rates and purchase homes instead of renting. The government also plans to allocate 11 trillion won, or some $10 billion plus, for next year's government-funded loans, a record amount following this year. But Finance Minister Hyun Oh-seok says there are some things that need to be done first in order for the government's plan to work.
In order to normalize the real estate market and also stabilize rental as well as jeonse prices, the pending key tax break legislations to boost the property market desperately need to be passed.
Hyun added Korea's overall economy will be hurt should the general tax revision bill, which has also been pending at Parliament for months, fail to be passed by the end of the year.
And good morning, everyone. It's time now for a look through your newspaper headlines. And as you can imagine, the top story on the papers this morning is Jang Sung-taek's apparent dismissal with his whereabouts unknown. Now, Jang was, of course, one of North Korea's power brokers and uncle to North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un. The story leads on all of our dailies this morning. Joseon-ilbo's headline reads, Jang Sung-taek reportedly dismissed changes in Kim Jong-un leadership. And the sub-headlines going on to add that it appears Jang has been relieved of all of his posts. The Seoul government, while keeping a calm posture, is anticipating more instability with the dismissal of Jang. Now, turning to our next paper, let's go ahead and take a look at its main headlines. Joseon-ilbo's headline reads, Kim Jong-un removes Uncle Jang Sung-taek to consolidate own power. The sub-headlines hypothesizing that Jang's ouster could come ahead of the young leader's preparing to enter his third year as the supreme leader of North Korea. Also possible is that Jang's power bloc was pushed out by the bloc of Choi Ryong-hae, the head of the General Political Bureau of the Korean People's Army. And Gyeongyang Shinmun also treats the story as its top. Its headline reads, Second in Command Jang Sung-taek falls from power. And citing unnamed sources, the sub-headlines include chatter that Jang is under house arrest and that his brother-in-law and nephew, who were abroad serving as ambassadors, have been summoned back as well. Meanwhile, this reoccurring image of Jang and Kim Jong-un was taken February of last year on the birthday of Kim's father, Kim Jong-il. And Jang's appearance at such public events alongside the leader had been decreasing. And Seoul spy agencies said that the 77-year-old had not been seen in almost a month. Scooting over to Donga-ilbo next, its headline reads, North Korea's Kim Jong-un purges second in power Jang Sung-taek. And there you can see Jang on the rightmost in the picture here, caught looking away as his nephew makes an address. Now, the sub-headline suggests that power struggle and internal unrest appears to be growing within the reclusive state as the North conducts special education to instill loyalty to Kim Jong-un. And we'll have more analysis with Na Hyun-kyung coming up very soon. But for now, there are other news that broke yesterday. And in fact, this headline right here reads, low interest shared mortgage to be expanded to 15,000 households. This part of the freshly released real estate measures by the government to revive the housing market. The expansion will be applied beginning on Monday. And finally, let's take a look at Korea Economic Daily. While the Jang Song-taek news may have stole their thunder, the leaders of rival political parties did finally come to break their impasse last night, with the ruling Century Party conceding to set up a special committee to reform the nation's spy agency. Korea Economic Daily's headline announces that rival parties also have agreed to conclude budget by year's end. And in fact, the picture shows the party leaders and the floor leaders of the respective political parties giving comments following last night's second round of meetings that reaped that breakthrough. And though both sides agreed to work towards a speedy resolution of budgetary matters, the paper cautions that we're not out of the woods yet, particularly as the opposition Democratic Party still wants to cut back on much of the Park Geun-hye administration's welfare proposals. And with that, we'll wrap your look at what's in print. Next up, your closing numbers from Tuesday's market action.
And shifting back to the story of the uncle of Kim Jong-un, before we look into what all of this means, let's briefly take a look at who Jang Song-taek is. Now, Jang was born into an average family in 1946, graduated from Kim Il-sung University, majoring in politics and economics. He got married to Kim Yoonhee, the daughter of North Korea's founder Kim Il-sung, in 1972, and was at the time dubbed North Korea's male equivalent of Cinderella. Since then, he was a fast track up the power ladder. He was a trusted friend of Kim Jong-il and also a mentor to Kim Jong-il's son, Kim Jong-un, of course, now the leader of North Korea, when Kim Jong-il passed away in 2011. But he was also often considered a potential threat to the regime as a strong second-in-command figure. Under the Kim Jong-un regime, he was, or still may be, serving as the vice chairman of North Korea's National Defense Commission and also the chief of the Central Administrative Department of the ruling Workers' Party. And now, having all of that said, and for more, we are now joined by Dr. Bong Young-jik from the Asan Institute for Policy Studies. Welcome to the program.
Good morning.
So not shifting back, but Jang Song-taek, so he played a central role in North Korean politics for the past 4 decades. What could be the reason behind this possible removal from his post?
Well, listening to this news gave me an opportunity to review my research notes on the Kim Jong-un and North Korea. And may I say unabashedly that I knew it all along. There's no reason to be surprised.
So
and
there
was
were
a writing
telltale
on the
signs.
wall. There was a writing on the wall predicting that Jang Song-taek's days were actually numbered. There has been a growing concern and complaints inside the North Korean government about lack of progress with regards to turning around national economy. If you read back the message of the New Year's message, which was actually personally read by Supreme Leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un himself, which was for the first time in 19 years doing so, that there were 3 keywords: agriculture, light industry, and drastic improvement of the quality of common people's lives. And Jang Song-taek has been the icon of economic reform and development.
Right.
And failure to produce a discernible progress in enhancing people's daily lives would require the government to have good scapegoat to put all the blames, and Jang Song-taek must have been selected as a scapegoat.
So is this a sign of confidence from Kim Jong-un, or is that the contrary?
Well, I would be cautious, but when I think about the resilience and stability of Kim Jong-un leadership in North Korea, I also often recall the story of President Lee Kun-hee and Samsung. When President Lee Kun-hee was anointed as a successor of his father, the founder of the Samsung Empire many years ago, many people were quite skeptical of his future, that he was not even the eldest son of the three. He lacked his father's charisma and experience, and Samsung's competitiveness in the international market of home electronics and semiconductors.
So in a way, very much
limited.
like Kim
Right.
Jong-un.
Right, but had I been supporting the more positive prediction of Mr. Lee Gun-hee and Samsung's future, then I would have become a rich man by now, because the price of the Samsung stock has been grown by 50 times.
Right.
So it is nice of you to invite me here on this morning, but I would have also liked to be in Bahamas drinking cold aid.
But so that in a way you are saying that it is a sign of an increased Kim Jong-un holding more power within his regime.
Definitely. Kim Jong-un has shuffled the core members of the party and the military since he took over a couple of years ago. 44% of the key officials in the Workers' Party and People's Army are new members.
Okay, so he's been in power, Kim Jong-un, for about 2 years now. So why the change now? Is the time, the point of time, critical here?
Well, now North Korea is truly Kim Jong-un's country, not Jang Song-taek's country. And we have to understand that North Korea is a system in its own category, that it's a theocratic and dynastic system based upon hereditary succession. So anybody whose last name is not Kim can be only secondary and expendable. So I guess it's now Kim Jong-un's time to make strategic decision to take charge in terms of trying to revive the national economy, along with forging into very tough negotiation with the outside world with regard to its nuclear and missile programs.
Right. Speaking of, so what implications could this have outside of North Korea?
Well, it proves the same theme that North Korea is all about the royal family, the
Right.
Kim family. So it is not so meaningful to say or predict who will be the next second in command under Kim Jong-un. Many people say that it might be General Choi Ryong-hae
Right.
or somebody else. But remember, the reason why Jang Song-taek was purged is because he's Jang Song-taek, not Kim Song-taek. So it's not so meaningful who will be the next in command under Kim Jong-un.
Because that person will remain as the second in command forever within the Kim Jong-un regime. All right, thank you very much, Dr. Pong Young-sik, for joining us and sharing your insight today.
Thank you.
A lot of fog surrounding North Korea. There is a lot of smog surrounding South Korea.
It's a mixture of both. I would say fog and smog
That's
in
right.
Seoul. For more on today's weather, we'll go over to Lee Da-mi. Good morning, Da-mi.
Good morning. Look at
And
you with a
she's
mask
just
and
ready
all.
for the smog.
Right.
Good morning, everyone. Today I'm reporting live from Chungju, Seoul, and yes, there is a specific reason as to why I'm wearing a mask. This morning we're starting out with hazy skies, or should I say that the haze is quite toxic. The fog is mixed in with smog coming in from China, and the levels of fine dust are quite high around the nation. Here in Seoul right now, the fine dust levels are at 122 micrograms. Wearing a mask today is crucial, and of course, make sure to drink plenty of water as well. Now, current temperatures this morning are at 2.7 degrees Celsius. Later in the day, our highs will leap up into the double digits. It looks like these mild conditions in the afternoons will continue throughout the week. Now let's go ahead and check the weather for today. Here in the nation's capital, highs will rise to 10, Daejeon at 11, Gwangju at 12, Gangneung at 13, Daegu, Busan, and Jeju at 14 degrees. That's all I have for the weather. I'll be back in the latter half.
It's a story about love and friendship taking place in Paris. The Korean National Opera calls it a year-end gift for opera lovers. La Boheme will go on stage starting tomorrow. And our reporter Yim Yoonhee joins us for more on this. Good morning.
Good morning. So the Korean National Opera has been contributing to Korea's art culture for over 50 years now. And they've recently added Giacomo Puccini's La Boheme to their list of repertoire. And, you know, it's a very popular performance. It was actually performed here in Korea last year as the opening to the 2012 opera season. And it is back by popular demand. It was a sellout show, so let's take a look. The opera, La Boheme, was composed by Italian legend Giacomo Puccini. The story takes place in Paris in the year 1830. Rodolfo, the main character, is a struggling young poet, forced to burn his own pages of his works in order to keep warm in the cold winter months. The tiny attic he lives in is dark, cold, and disheartening.
The Korean National Opera's current program opens on the backdrop of an attic, but this attic is so small you can feel the heartbeat of the other people in the room. I made it small to emphasize the attic and use it as a symbol. It represents the feeling of disconnect from society that the young characters feel due to their unstable conditions.
However, he unexpectedly finds love in Mimi, the seamstress who lives across the hall. The two fall madly in love with each other, expressed through their individual performance known as an aria.
The aria I perform is called My Name is Mimi because I tell people to call me Mimi, but my name is actually Lucia. This is how this aria begins.
Si mi chiamano Mimi, ma il mio nome è Lucia.
The beautiful voice of the accomplished soprano carries through the air, demonstrating just why Puccini's arias are loved everywhere. Out of 400 potential candidates, Elisa Cho was chosen from the auditions to play the role of Mimi.
When my character first meets Rodolfo, it's like she's a 20-year-old girl eager to love. He catches her eye immediately and they fall in love. Before they meet, she embroidered for a living, but now she wants to leave everything for him. I use my voice and my singing to demonstrate this fresh, eager, young love.
The opera is a collaborative effort that celebrates the possibilities of youthfulness. Despite the financial and physical hardships, the characters still manage to find love. La Boheme has become a standard Italian repertoire around the world and is now included in the Korea National Opera repertoire, becoming a favorite for many.
Almost like we are there watching the opera, right? I mean, the aria My Name is Mimi is loved by many, but also, of course, there are other Puccini arias that are popular.
Yes, so Puccini has quite a few famous arias, but La Boheme actually contains three very famous arias. La Boheme contains three famous arias, like we heard earlier in the report. And there's also, you know, arias are usually solo performances, but there's a beautiful duet performance within this opera between Mimi and Rodolfo. So you should check that out when it plays.
Okay, I mean, judging from what we just saw, basically, this is a very big, large-scale opera. And operas of this scale, it requires a symphony of different organizations and institutions to work together to bring a show like this. Or are there other people involved in other organizations?
Yes, so it takes quite a few people to put on the opera. And this particular opera the music was done by the Korean Symphony Orchestra. And they were also supported by the National Chorus of Korea, the Grand Orchestra of Of course, and the PBC choir of boys and girls. And I don't know if you saw in the report, the little kids running around, they were beautiful, so talented. You can see them, singing, running, they already know the choreography, so very promising potential orchestra members.
Sounds great. So if you're an opera lover, you can consider it a pre-Christmas gift for yourself, right?
All right,
Yes.
and it all takes place this week, so you can enjoy that, La Boheme.
Yes, the opening curtain is tomorrow night, so you should check it out before it sells out again.
All right. Well, thank you, Yoonhee, for this story.
My pleasure.
And if you're an oyster lover, stay tuned because we have some oyster dishes coming right up. Treat yourself to some fresh and juicy oysters that are in full season. They're known for containing essential nutrients and giving a much-needed extra boost to the body. Our chef, Andreas Kroppel, joins us in the studio to cook some oyster dishes. Yummy.
Time for Medical Korea. Last week, we had a chance to visit part 1 of our Medical Korea Jeju segment.
That's right, the hot stone massage and the golden mask. Remember that?
I cannot not forget.
All the ladies are excited about the golden mask, right?
Yes.
What better to have one of the most precious metals on your face, right? Well, this week, we're going to take a look at part 2 of our Jeju Medical Tourism segment. So let's take a look at this report, find out more.
The natural scent of the vast and open jade-colored ocean and green forests surrounding the island. Every year, more and more medical tourists arrive here on Jeju Island to heal their bodies and souls. This is Jeju Halla General Hospital located in Jeju City. Here, we meet Chen Jin Kai, who is here for surgical cancer removal. He currently suffers from stage 3 esophageal cancer. Had he come a little later, he would have been in critical condition, unfit for surgery. Despite this, him and his family chose to seek treatment in Jeju instead of at a local hospital.
There are many services offered to medical tourists, and I especially like the hospitable medical staff. I trust that tomorrow's surgery will go well.
The long-awaited surgery will finally be performed tomorrow. Even at a large general hospital with highly skilled doctors, it is not easy to be completely at ease. But this patient and his family members show complete trust and faith in the staff and the hospital.
There is a shortage of hospital beds in China, so doctors won't even accept more patients. I asked a friend for a hospital recommendation. You can get treated in Jeju without a visa, so it's very convenient.
I'm not worried. Everything here is great. I'm relieved that my husband came to this hospital. I was very touched by the medical staff that took care of the patients just like family.
With state-of-the-art oncology equipment, CT scanners, artery imaging machines, this is Jeju Island's largest general hospital. Since 2009, the Jeju Halla General Hospital has been leading the medical tourism initiative in Jeju Island.
Korea's medical tourism system must continue to combine medicine, relaxation, and tourism together. At the Jeju Halla General Hospital, we have plans to offer medical services for severe illnesses, basic health checkups, and plastic surgery that we can package together with tourism and relaxation. We are especially focusing on opening a resort facility where patients can recuperate after treatment.
Currently, this hospital is planning to open a Meditel resort, bridging its medical services and facilities with hotel resort amenities in Seogwipo. Their goal is to combine the beautiful, pure natural environment of Jeju with medical technology and offer a new direction in medical tourism. The view of Hallasan Mountain's natural forest is spectacular. They are also the first in Korea working towards developing a water therapy treatment system. Making use of Jeju Island's natural hot springs and light, they are embarking on a new horizon for hydrotherapy in Korea. Recent travel trends in Jeju are focused on healing and curing. More and more tourists wanting to experience the calming properties of Jeju Island are visiting Sancheondan, known for its woods, and the Ollekil Trail, which is becoming famous for its trekking course.
Seoul is a little busy, and everything's fast. Here you can slow and relax and enjoy. So that's what I think.
This theme park is operated by a professional meditation trainer who teaches Korea's traditional breathing techniques and meditation programs. Last year, the Jeju Tourism Organization designated this place as a must-visit tourist attraction thanks to its popularity.
Before coming to Jeju Island, I was very troubled and tired. In Jeju, I participated in meditation programs, so I feel like I received a lot of good energy from Jeju's beautiful natural elements.
A visit here offers more than just simple tourism and shopping opportunities. Tourism in Jeju allows visitors to heal, paying close attention to their body and soul surrounded by nature.
Ordinary hospitals focus on curing diseases, but Jeju Island's healing programs treat not only the body but also the mind as well. This is a genuine way to become healthy.
My leg was problematic before. But after receiving the natural energy from Jeju's skies, earth, wind, and other elements, I feel much healthier. When I return to China, I will recommend visiting Jeju Island to my family, my friends, and even my friends of friends.
After you find calmness in Jeju's ocean and forest, you can witness the birth of Jeju Island here. Boasting a total length of an estimated 13 kilometers, the Manjanggul Cave is the longest lava tube in the world. Among other lava tubes, the Manjanggul Cave is celebrated for its well-preserved topographical features. At the Jeju Folk Village Museum, you can experience authentic Jeju Island scenes from the 19th century. Even in the old days, Jeju was known for its generosity and good harvest and having no thieves or beggars. Even now, Jeju shows generosity and bountiful natural environments, priding itself as a healing island.
It's very relaxing living here because of the area and also farmer and the other, and also there's a lot of plenty of trees and wind breeze, so it's really healing to us actually.
Because back in our places in Indonesia, oh my God, there's so many. The air is not fresh anymore. There's so many air pollution everywhere. Everywhere already contaminated, you know. Yeah. So Jeju, oh my God, even in the afternoon like this, we still can inhale the fresh air.
Here, there are no concrete jungles, no loud sounds from traffic or air pollution. So before the year ends, make your way down to Jeju Island to experience a healing voyage where you can forget about your worries and simply enjoy being surrounded by beautiful nature.
Beautiful nature, beautiful sunsets and sunrises, as well as the ocean breeze. All that awaits you at Jeju.
What's not to like?
Exactly. Well, Jeju is still in its infant stages when it comes to medical tourism. Actually, started really revamping or vamping the medical tourism industry over there starting in 2009. And they are promoting currently some of their most sought-after services, such as dermatology clinics, as well as aesthetic surgery and plastic surgery in general. So I think with the inclusion of many different services, it's only going to grow.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like, a lot of the patients were just totally mesmerized by the environment, the beautiful scenery of Jeju Island. And when you think of Jeju Island, what I think of is Olekgil Trail, but it looks like a lot of trekking trails are becoming a bit of a more stretch other than Olekgil trails, right?
Meditation,
healing trails. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right. And if K-pop and K-dramas were the driving force of the Korean wave Hallyu, it seems like medical tourism and healing tourism may be the new engine for growth in Hallyu. And Jeju seems to be becoming the place to see and to be seen.
That's right. You get some medical services.
Let's go over to Jeju for Christmas.
Yeah, that sounds like a great plan. Jeju Island is not even that far away. But for now, we're going to have to go to Lee Da-mi.
That's right, who joins us from the Euljiro Underground Pedestrian Arcade. I don't know what that is, where that is. Let's go over to her. What is she doing?
What she's doing.
She is holding onto Admiral Lee Sun-shin's sword.
So I don't know what it looks like, but it's supposed to look like I'm flying from Admiral Lee Sun-shin's sword. Does it look like it? Basically, this is trick art, and what it is it turns two-dimensional pictures into 3 dimensions, creating an illusion. There's basically a trick art open exhibition that is going on here at the Euljiro Underground Pedestrian Arcade for the next 6 months. And the Seoul Metropolitan Facilities Management Corporation has opened this up so that what seems like a very long passageway will become a more fun and adventurous one. There are a total of 6 trick art pieces that you can find, such as the Admiral Lee Sun-shin, also the Seoul Library, Namsan Tower, etc., etc. Another specialty that you can find in this underground passageway, which is about 3.3 kilometers long, and it connects Sicheong and Euljiro, is this musical staircase. And basically through these sensors, what it does is it activates lights and the piano sounds. So this musical staircase has actually been receiving a lot of love from people as well. Now, these days, a lot of people actually pass by here through this underground passageway. The Seoul Metropolitan Facilities Management Corporation is planning to make more of these open exhibitions in the future. So why not come on by and enjoy some of the facilities and display art that you can find here. I'm Lee Da-mi, Korea Today.
Is she going down the stairs or is she playing the piano?
She's playing a tune right now. Well, Tommy, thank you very much for that. But too bad you're out there and we're in here because we're going to be taking a look at some ocean's milk, they call it here in Korea.
Milk of the ocean, that's
exactly.
right.
Now, oysters are said to be the best in the months that end with the letter R, and it's December. So we're going to go to Andreas Krompel, who joins us in the studio, and find out what he has for us. Good morning, Andreas.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. And Korean oysters are exceptionally good. I mean, I traveled around the world. I had some oysters from various parts in Europe, in Australia, New Zealand. But I must say, when I tasted the oysters here first, sensational. So today, 2 dishes. One really, really traditional dish everyone pretty much knows. It's a muchim. It's a marinated spicy oyster. What has been eaten with bosom or different items during the winter time. And the other one is one of my favorites. Is a Kilpatrick. What is an oyster what I experienced in New Zealand first. So one of those things I carry with me along. And I think it's a really good oyster.
I just can't stop from smiling for some reason.
But there's so many amazing dishes in Korea. One of them is the jeon. What also I like this one on the street market. I have a jeon during the oyster during the winter month. So it's quite nice. It's a really flavorful dish, and I really like this one too. So to get going with the muchim, actually it's 4 basic ingredients. I have some radish here, what I'm gonna make into a paste together with,
I can't wait.
Some onions.
It's just, wow, oysters.
So I put the radish in there. I've got some chopped onions I'm gonna add there. If you don't have a blender, you can do it in a mortar or you can dice it by hand, really. It's also a little bit of garlic. And of course, a little bit of ginger.
And so you have to put this through a blender for the muchim.
Yes, this is actually just for making the paste. So this will be the spice paste, what goes around the oyster. So we'll have a bit of vinegar to have it going. Then I'm blending this one. And So that's pretty much it. So this is my base I'm going to use. This one now I'm going to spice up with some chili powder.
You know, oysters are packed with nutrition.
Yes, there's actually a lot of taurine in there, what is good for your cholesterol levels, so that reduces your cholesterol a little bit. There's a lot of iron in this one too, so they're quite healthy, and they help you getting strength and being resistant against flu, so in wintertime.
So they say it's good for women for some reason.
Yes, because they're low in cholesterol as well, so they're quite, you can eat a few and they don't really, there are not many calories. So I added a little bit of corn syrup to it.
Oh, corn syrup. I thought it was
balance the
honey.
flavor. And put a bit of sesame seeds, a little bit of spring onion. And then I diced up this beautiful pear earlier on, so gonna add some julienne or fine dices of pear.
It's gonna have that little, not just spicy, but a little bit of the tangy, like sweet taste, right?
Yes, has a bit of this. That's why I put the corn syrup and the little bit of pear inside too. That will nicely balance, because if you only have the spices, I think it's too much. So.
And there comes the oysters.
And of course the oysters, what I cleaned out earlier, you can have them whole, you can do them yourself, but I think the fishmonger or your fish supply can do this for you. So this is about 30 pieces of oysters I cleaned earlier. Now we're adding it to the mix and gently.
Chef, any special method of cleaning them? How would you clean oysters? Just rinse it in water?
Yeah, pretty much. A little bit of salt water I normally put. So I pinch of salt in the water and then use a brush and I brush it over. You don't want to wash away all that natural oyster water because it has a lot of flavor. So you just brush a little bit the shell pieces if there's any. Don't run them under cold water for a long time because you're washing away the flavor.
So that muchim looks about done, right? Is that
that's pretty much done.
No, I just said I'm a huge fan of oysters, but I don't think I've ever had 굴무침 before. So I'm very much looking forward to that dish right over there.
So that's the dish number one, and the other one is one of my favorites. It's actually a very simple preparation. I have onions and bacon, what I'm going to stir fry a little bit to get soft. I put a sip of lemon in there, and then the secret ingredient is actually Worcester sauce, what is a combination of different spices, but this is a ready sauce you can buy in the shop. And then I top this on top of the oysters and I steam or bake them. So that's very simple.
So this would be really good for people who can't handle raw oysters.
Yeah, actually a very, very good dish for people who cannot raw oysters, and has a bit of a meaty flavor through the bacon. So it's a beautiful dish. You tell me later once you come over and try.
All right. Andreas, we'll be back with you later on Korea Today to see the final finished products on those oysters there. We'll let you get to work on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Still ahead on Korea Today, we're going to take a tour this time in the city of Seoul for our Seoul segment. Well, we always go to Seoul anyhow, right? Today we're going to go to the neighborhood of Seongbuk-dong, where historical traces from the past continue to live on. It sits on the folds of Bukaksan Mountain and used to be the base for many literary artists. We visit the culture, nature, and history of Seongbuk-dong and all the tradition involved.
And a good Wednesday morning to you all as we kick things off in the K-League Classic. Now, believe it or not, we're already at the final month of 2013, which means award ceremonies. And just yesterday, the 2013 K-League Classic award ceremony took place. Now, the top award on the night was the MVP award, which went to Ulsan Hyundai Tigers forward Kim Shin-wook, who scored 19 goals on the season, helping the team finish in second place. Meanwhile, the manager of the year went to former Taeguk Warrior and Pohang Steelers head coach Hwang Sun-ong, who led Pohang to their 5th league title over the weekend. And moving on, we've just finished the 2013 KLPGA season, and already fans are looking forward to the first KLPGA event of the new season. And surprisingly, with the first event taking place on the 6th in Taiwan, the Swinging Skirts 2013 World Ladies Masters will be a collaboration with the TLPGA. It'll consist with some of the biggest Korean golfers like Park In-bi, who finished the 2013 LPGA season ranked number 1, and Chang Han-ah won the KLPGA Player of the Year honors. Meanwhile, Yani Seng of Taiwan will be on hand as well, kicking off the new season. And moving on to some Tuesday night's KBL action, we had the Seoul Samsung Thunders take on the Busan KT Sonic Boom. So let's take a look at the highlights. Now going over to the game here, first quarter of the game, Lee Dong-jun, a.k.a. Daniel Sandrin, leading the way with 8 points, take a 27-17 lead. KT trying to bounce back from a poor first quarter, but go into halftime still trailing 42-32. With Cho Sung-min, KT held down to just 6 points on the night. The Samsung Thunders hang on to take this game 69-62. And finishing things off with the results from Tuesday's V-League action, Hunguk Insurance Life Pink Spiders beat the struggling Hyundai Hill State in 5 sets, with Kepco Vic Storms pulling away with a huge upset win over the Korean Air Jumbos 3-0. So with that said, that's going to wrap it up for me. This has been SJ. Have a great rest of the day and see you guys again for your sports needs.
This past weekend, the first Christmas festival of the season was held right up my alley, quite literally, in Seongbuk-dong in Seoul. Many European embassies strutted their Christmas stuff, and our Peter Bent was there. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
This is the area that's famous for your dongnae, your house.
Your neighborhood.
It's famous for you,
Welcome
right?
to my neighborhood.
So Seongbuk-dong, you should introduce it, Min Jung, but I am here to. There was the early Christmas spirit, you're right, with this Christmas festival. And the name Seongbuk-dong, it actually means north of the fortress, because it's north of Gwanghwamun, right? And it was home to many writers in the past, and their cultural influence is still being felt today. And due to its close proximity with Cheongwade as well, the presidential office, there are many embassies, like you said. And we're going to take a look at this neighborhood, which is really rich in history and culture. Connecting central Seoul with the northeastern district is Seongbuk-dong in Seongbuk-gu. Nestled near the Bukaksan Mountain and the city's old fortress, it's a beautiful neighborhood that blends well with nature. Seongbuk-dong is near Gwanghwamun, where many foreign embassies are, so it has many ambassadors' residences. The alleys are quiet and quaint, with the coffee shops and galleries where people can enjoy the scenery of Bukaksan Mountain. It's becoming a comfort spot within the city following Samcheong-dong. Embassies in Seoul often hold cultural exchange festivals for foreign and local residents here. And here, there's another festival.
And a Santa, too.
Yeah,
and a huge tree.
Not one.
And it's where you can experience Christmas
Oh,
much
many,
earlier.
many Santas.
Yes,
Little Santas.
many.
The European Christmas market is held every winter. This year, the festival has a special Santa contest event. It's a time when people show off their unique Santa costumes. So from adorable Santa babies to dancing Santas, many Santas from various countries have gathered here in one place. It's an event where cultures are shared and many people enjoy themselves during the 2-day festival.
Oh, that looks fun. You know, with different booths there.
And you can't leave out the delicious foods. Each country offered national dishes enjoyed during Christmas holidays. From Germany's blue wine, Swiss rosti, French buckwheat dishes and more, there are a wide range of European delicacies to choose from.
Now, this is officially torture. Oysters in the studio, good food in the video footage.
And the best dresser of the Santa contest received a certificate
I think it's
to taste
really nice that we get to try food from all over Europe. A lot of these things I have never seen before.
It's really beautiful Christmas market. In Russia, we don't have Christmas in the time.
Next up is Gilsangsa Temple. It's only a 5-minute drive from the European Christmas market.
A beautiful temple, really. Regardless of religion, it's a beautiful place to walk in.
There's a serenity that you feel when you go in there.
Yes, and the walls blend with the trees. It feels really cozy and peaceful, just like walking in the forest. And unlike other Buddhist temples, the buildings here are placed naturally according to mountain terrains. This is because it wasn't initially built as a temple. It used to be one of the top 3 restaurants in Korea called Daewonggak, but the owner, Kim Young-han, was moved by a Buddhist monk Venerable Bokjong's teachings, so she donated this property, which is how the temple came to be. Over 23,000 square meters of land was donated, and according to Kim Young-han's wishes, it is now an open space for everyone to enjoy. Within the temple, there is a stone statue symbolizing religious harmony, which looks like the Virgin Mary.
It's located in the center of the city, so it's easy to visit. I come here often with my family or friends whenever I want to feel better.
There are many other attractions where you can get a glimpse of Korea's history and culture, like Kansong Museum, Korea's first private museum, and the homes of independence fighters have also been well preserved. Among them, Suyeon Sambang, which means a small house of writers in the woods, is where the late author Lee Tae-jeon wrote many of his books. Because of its tranquility and beauty, many other writers sought out to write in Suyeon Sambang of Seongbuk-dong. And currently his descendants are preserving the original house and have turned it into a traditional tea house since 1998. It's also Seoul Citizens Cultural Heritage number 11. You can feel the traces of writers and take a look at their work, so it's a great cultural attraction of Seongbuk-dong.
I come here every time I visit Korea. I first found out about this place through a friend, and I really enjoy drinking traditional teas in a traditional old house.
This is where the past and present really do coexist. Seongbuk-dong is where traditions stand and many cultures meet, so how about a stroll around this neighborhood to breathe it all in?
All right, we're all going over to Minjung's house.
They live in a nice
Peter,
neighborhood.
I've heard
So much about my neighborhood.
I
Some
think the
hidden
price of your
gems.
place has gone up, yeah.
Thank you. All thanks to Peter.
Yes.
And there's a walking tour for foreign tourists to go around.
That's
the
right.
neighborhood.
It's run by the Seoul Metropolitan Government and it operates 3 times each and every day. It's absolutely free. It's 10 a.m., 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. You do have to register online in advance, but once you've done that, you pick a date and a time and you get it in English, Chinese or Japanese. And the Kilsangsa Temple and the Suyeon Sambang that we mentioned in the report are featured on this tour. So for more information, visit their website. It's visitseoul.net.
So the festival that took place in Seongbuk-dong, the Christmas Market Festival, that's unfortunately over,
Yes,
right? But do you have
unfortunately.
any other upcoming festivals? maybe?
Yeah, there's a great one run by the Seongbuk Global Village Centre. That was established to help the foreign residents who live in this area, and they have a cultural exchange event that takes place every single year. And in June, September and December, embassies sponsor different events as well, these cultural exchange ones, that are categorized by continent and culture to display traditional foods and performances and local specialties and more at the Seongbuk-dong Fountain Square. And it's a great chance to learn about different cultures every single year.
You usually think of like places like Itaewon as the culture
on
hall.
over, guys.
But yes, Seongbuk-dong is a new place. Thank you very much, Peter, for that.
Yeah,
Thank
we're
you,
heading
Peter.
over, Minjung. Thanks.
Now, are we all ready now?
Yes,
That's right. We
I've
heard a
always
little
been
bit
ready.
of a disruption by the chef. He made a bit of
Quite a noise.
right over there.
You didn't drop any of the food now, did you?
No,
So
no.
is the food all ready?
Yes, it's all ready, so come on over, please, and give it a go. Let me know what you think.
Come on.
Peter,
Peter.
sorry about that.
So these are the Kilpatrick oysters.
Wow.
As you mentioned, for
This is
those,
a rendition I've never seen before.
for those people who don't really enjoy the strong seafood taste and the raw oyster, this is the dish to go.
It's seafood and meat together.
Yes.
This is bacon,
That
right?
bacon
Correct.
was killing
Bacon,
me
onions.
all throughout while Peter was talking. I was like, I could smell the bacon, and I was like, oh my god.
Steamed oysters. How interesting. Do you want to dig
It
in?
looks a little bit hot. Why don't we try the muchim first?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
sure. The
Muchim,
That's
of
a
course.
Korean,
You can
please.
move this around. Here
It's
you
also
go.
something I've
Go
never
ahead.
really seen before coming to
Thank you.
Korea.
Wow. This is more traditionally, I think that this Koreans would probably be more familiar with this dish,
Right? Muchim. It
So
looks
do I
beautiful,
wrap it in this
too.
lettuce or?
No, I think that's just the
it's just for
decoration.
But you could if you wanted
It's actually
to,
the
I
first
guess.
time I've had this.
Okay,
Right,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right.
Ooh. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and have a taste too.
Spicy.
Is it
a little bit
spicy?
sweet.
Spicy.
So I guess you could go easy on
Yeah,
the
with a real clean,
gochujang.
cool type of feeling here.
Okay, I'm gonna try
And
myself.
I love the balance of the pear inside there. It's just a really nice
Is it
dish.
good?
It melts
good.
in your mouth.
Yes,
it
it
literally
does.
melts in your mouth.
You said there's low in
All right,
cholesterol.
so are we
The
ready
loin
for
cholesterol. That's right.
the
That's right.
steamed one? I don't know
So
if
I
we
guess
can.
this would have a little bit more calorie than this one.
Yes,
because
with
of
the
all
bacon pieces, yeah.
All right,
And
so
it's
I will go ahead.
It's a bit hard, yeah.
Okay. Ooh. Oh, the silence. I love this. You gotta say something now.
And the best is if you now take a little piece of bread and you nip out a little.
Oh, actually, that would go
Where's the
very
bread,
well.
chef?
Where's
I
the
didn't
bread?
bring the
A
bread today.
baguette or
Didn't bring the
something.
bread.
You know what? I'm gonna say one thing. I am speechless.
Wow, it's
All right.
that good, huh?
Well, there you go. Another success story right here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much,
Thanks so
Andreas.
much. All right, that brings us to the end of our show for today.
All right, so breakfast is served, and then we're going over to your house. All right, that'll do it for us. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
Okay, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.